My dear friend, have you ever wondered why some ideas seem to appear out of thin air and turn into reality, while others remain only dreams in the quiet corners of your mind? Have you ever felt that spark, that sudden vision of what could be, only to watch it fade because life's noise seemed louder than your inspiration? I want you to know this truth right now, that every single idea you receive, every flash of inspiration, every picture painted upon the screen of your mind, is not random. It is a divine seed planted within you, waiting for you to bring it into the world. You are not just here to survive. You are here to create, to shape reality with your thoughts, your words, your unwavering belief. But here is the beautiful mystery. Your ideas do not materialize simply because you wish for them. No, they take form when you align your inner world with the truth, that they are already yours, that the very fact you have conceived them means they exist in the unseen, waiting for the right conditions to bloom. I want you to picture this: a gardener does not plant a seed today and demand a flower tomorrow. He trusts the soil, the rain, the sunlight, the process. He knows that as long as he nurtures the seed, the flower must come. In the same way, the universe, governed by unshakable spiritual law, responds to the ideas you plant with faith, persistence, and action. But here is where so many miss the mark. They plant the seed but uproot it every day with doubt, fear, and contradiction. They speak words of defeat over the very thing they desire, not realizing that the words they speak are the water or the poison to their own dreams. I have seen it again and again. People holding a vision in their hearts but speaking against it with their lips. And I must tell you, your words are not small. They are not empty. They carry the creative power that calls forth the unseen into the seen. What you say is what you shape. This is why I tell you, over and over, that your word is your wand. If you speak with faith, you open the path. If you speak with fear, you close the door you've been knocking on. So I must ask you now, what words have you been speaking over your life, over your ideas, over your future? Are you blessing them or cursing them without even knowing it? Because the truth is this: the moment you hold an idea in your mind, the moment you feel it spark in your soul, you have touched something that exists beyond time and space. That idea is already alive, already formed in the invisible, and you have been chosen to be its vessel, the one who brings it forth into the material world. But here's the loop I want you to keep hearing in your heart. Your ideas are not random, they are assignments. They are invitations from the infinite to participate in the creation of something that did not exist in the world before you. And if you reject them, if you let them fade, if you bury them in fear, they will move to someone else who is ready to say yes. I don't want you to miss your assignment. I don't want you to let the music in you go unplayed. Because I have seen too many souls carry their greatest creations to the grave, simply because they doubted the timing, doubted themselves, or believed the lies of limitation whispered by the world. I am here to tell you, you have no limitation except the ones you agree to. There is no barrier except the one you build in your own mind. And if you will take this idea you have right now, the one that keeps knocking on your heart, and protect it as you would protect a newborn child, speaking life to it every single day, you will see the way open before you in ways that will make you marvel at the divine order of things. People will call it luck, they will call it coincidence. But you will know, it is the law at work, the law that says as within, so without. The law that says whatever you impress upon the subconscious, backed with faith, must express itself in your life. And this is why I tell you, do not talk about what you fear, do not magnify what you lack, do not rehearse in your mind the failures of the past, for these are the weeds that choke your garden. Instead, see it done, speak it done, feel it done. Because the idea you have is not waiting for the right economy, the right approval, or the right moment. It is waiting for you to become the person who can hold it, nurture it, and bring it to life without collapsing under the weight of doubt. And here is where your faith becomes the bridge. Faith is not hoping. Faith is not wishing. Faith is knowing, with every fiber of your being, that what you have seen in your mind is as real as what you can touch with your hands. And acting as if it is already here. Every time you step forward in faith, you send a signal to the unseen that you are ready, and the unseen responds by aligning people, opportunities, and resources in ways you could never have arranged on your own. My friend, your role is not to figure out how every piece will fit. Your role is to keep saying yes to the idea, to keep showing up for it, to keep speaking life over it until the unseen becomes the seen. And here is the connection point I want you to hold on to. I have been where you are. I have felt the thrill of an idea's birth and the fear of not knowing how it will come to pass. I have seen dreams delayed, doors shut, and roads blocked, only to realize later that every detour was a divine redirection, guiding me to something better than I first imagined. So when I tell you to trust the process, it is not theory. It is truth tested by life. And this is the secondary hook that will carry us forward. The moment you start speaking differently about your ideas, they start moving differently toward you. The words you use, the images you hold, the emotions you feed. These are the tools that carve your future. You are always creating, whether in faith or in fear. So choose faith. Choose the words that align with your vision. Choose to act as if your idea is already here, because in the unseen it is. And now, as we step deeper into this journey, I want you to prepare yourself for something powerful. In the next part, we will uncover exactly how to move your ideas from the invisible realm to the physical, step by step, using the same principles that have worked since the beginning of time. But before we go there, here is my call to action for you. Take one idea you have been holding in your heart and, for the next 24 hours, refuse to speak anything about it except words of life, possibility, and gratitude. Watch how even this small shift begins to move the energy around you. You are not here to merely think about your dreams. You are here to birth them. And your time is now. You see, life is never a game of chance. It is a game of precision, of spiritual law. And the moment you truly understand this, you stop wandering in the fog of uncertainty and begin walking in the light of purpose. Because everything in your world is first formed in the invisible before it appears in the visible. If your invisible realm is filled with fear, doubt, and complaint, then you are planting weeds in the garden of your destiny. And those weeds will grow until you choose to uproot them and sow something different. People often say, "I will believe it when I see it." But that is not how life works. You will see it when you believe it, and you will keep seeing it if you keep believing it. That is why I tell people over and over, watch your words, guard your thoughts, and choose them as carefully as you would choose the most precious seeds. Because once planted in the soil of your mind, they will grow without fail. This is why so many live in cycles they wish to escape. They do not realize they are watering yesterday's fears instead of tomorrow's dreams. But you, dear listener, you can break that cycle today. Your ideas are not random, they are the divine whispering to you, urging you toward your highest good. Every great invention, every piece of art, every act of courage began as a thought, a single spark of an idea, nurtured, believed in, spoken into life, and acted upon without hesitation. You may think you are waiting for the perfect time, but the perfect time is created when you decide, and every moment you delay, the energy of your idea loses strength. So, ask yourself now, how many ideas have you allowed to drift away because you let fear speak louder than faith? How many times have you talked yourself out of a dream because the path was not yet clear? You must remember, the path is revealed step by step, not mile by mile. The universe is not withholding your good, it is waiting for you to claim it with your words, your belief, and your unwavering expectation. Speak as if it is already here. Walk as if you already hold it, and refuse to entertain any thought that contradicts it. You are the architect of your world, and your ideas are the blueprints. They materialize not because of luck, but because you aligned your words, your faith, and your actions into one unstoppable force. And if ever you forget, return to this truth. What you hold in your mind, what you speak with your mouth, and what you believe with your heart, you will hold in your hands. That is not a promise from me. It is the divine law, and the divine never fails. And so, my dear friend, as we continue this journey into understanding how your ideas come to life, I want you to pause and truly see that everything you have ever manifested, every blessing, every challenge, every small coincidence, began as a thought, a picture, a tiny spark in the invisible realm of your mind, and it is here, in this quiet and sacred place within you, that all creation truly begins, for ideas are not idle things. They are living seeds wrapped in divine energy, waiting for your faith, your conviction, and your steady attention to breathe them into form. And you may have wondered why some ideas seem to take flight quickly while others linger in waiting. But you see, the divine never forgets a seed you plant in faith. It is only that some require a longer season, and while you wait you must not uproot them with doubt or flood them with fear, for ideas respond to your inner atmosphere. If you cultivate belief, they grow strong, but if you cloud them with worry, they weaken. And so I tell you again, guard your inner garden. Guard it as you would guard a treasure chest filled with gold, for in truth, your mind is far more precious than gold because it shapes your world. And I have seen so many people abandon their dreams not because the dream was impossible, but because they did not understand the law. The law that what you hold in your consciousness with steadfast belief must eventually appear in your world. So do not confuse delay with denial. Do not mistake silence for absence, for the unseen is busy working, arranging, bringing your idea into contact with the people, the opportunities, the resources that will make it tangible. And while this process unfolds, you must act as if it is already on its way, speak as if it is certain, live as if it is guaranteed. Because faith is not merely believing when all is visible. Anyone can do that. Faith is walking forward when there is no sign at all, holding your high while the world asks you where your proof is, and smiling because you know your proof is already in motion. And here, I want you to remember something essential: ideas are not random visitors, they are divine invitations, each one given to you because you have the ability, the capacity, the soul strength to bring them into being. So when an idea comes to you that feels alive, that makes your heart quicken, you must not dismiss it as foolish or out of reach. For that idea chose you for a reason. It is the divine whispering through your mind. And when you honor it with action and belief, you are honoring the source from which it came. So begin now, even in small ways. Nurture that idea daily, water it with affirmations, protect it from the frost of criticism, keep it in the sunlight of your faith, and watch as it grows. For the moment you treat your idea as real, life begins to treat it as real too, and doors will open that you never knew existed. Paths will appear where once there were walls, and people will arrive in your life carrying the very thing you needed next. And you will call it coincidence, but I tell you, it is not coincidence. It is the law, the invisible law of creation unfolding perfectly, for what you are inside must appear outside. And this, dear one, is why you must become so careful, so intentional, about the pictures you allow to take root in your mind, for every image is a prophecy, every thought a seed. And if you would have a harvest of joy, you must plant seeds of joy. If you would live in abundance, you must speak abundance. If you would experience love, you must hold love within you long before it arrives. And I say this again so you cannot forget. Your ideas materialize when you live as if they already belong to you. When you hold them with such certainty that nothing in the outer world can shake you. And if you do this, if you keep looping this truth in your mind day and night, no doubt will survive in you. No fear will uproot you, and your world will be shaped exactly as your soul has seen it. You must remember, dear one, that the life you are living now is not an accident, not a random scattering events thrown together without reason. It is a living picture, a painted stroke by the thoughts you have held, the words you have spoken, and the beliefs you have entertained in the garden of your mind. And just as a seed grows quietly beneath the soil until the day it breaks through into the sunlight, so too do your ideas germinate unseen before they take shape in your world. And this is what I must tell you again and again until it is written deep into your soul. You are never merely thinking idly, you are creating. You are setting in motion unseen forces that are faithful to bring forth whatever you send them to do, whether it be for your good or your discomfort. For the law is impartial and it delivers an exact likeness to the pattern you hold. And if you will just pause for a moment and truly take this in, you will see that the most powerful thing you can do for your future is to tend to your present thoughts, to choose deliberately the seeds you are planting today, because the harvest is inevitable, the manifestation is certain, and the only choice you truly have is what kind of harvest it will be. So why not choose beauty, abundance, joy, a health, love and success as your seeds, and plant them with gratitude and expectation? I have seen people say, Florence, but I have tried to think good thoughts and nothing happened. And I tell them lovingly, my dear, you planted the seeds, but then you dug them up with worry, doubt, and fear. For every time you think, it's not working, you are digging at the roots of your own blessings, you are interrupting the very process you wish to complete. And you must learn to hold fast to your vision as if it is already yours, to speak of it as if it is already here, to thank God for it as it has already been delivered. Because in truth, it already exists in the invisible realm, and you are simply waiting for the appointed time for it to appear to your eyes. So I urge you to picture yourself living that dream, to feel the emotions of it, to make it so real in your mind that it becomes more real than your current circumstances. And when you can do this without flinching, without falling into how or when, you will have mastered the art of materialization. Think of your mind as a great projector, casting images upon the screen of your life. The film you choose to run determines what appears. And if you don't like what you're seeing, you need not curse the screen or blame the projectionist. You simply must change the film, and this film is your belief. your mental image, your inner speech. So I say again, mind your words, mind your images, mind your inner conversations, because they are the architects of your experience. And once you understand this, you will no longer fear the future, for you will know that you are building it moment by moment in the secret workshop of your mind. And here is a mystery that delights me every time I see it in action. The moment you form a clear and definite picture of what you want, the universe immediately begins to rearrange itself to bring it about, moving people, situations, and opportunities into your path in ways you could not have plotted or forced if you tried. For it is not your job to make it happen. It is your job to believe and to be ready to receive. And so many delay their blessings because they are busy forcing the door open instead of standing in faith before the one that will open easily when the time is right. I tell you, there is no such thing as luck in the life of a person who understands this law. There is only the law itself, working with mathematical precision, answering to the exact pattern of thought and belief you hold, and when you begin to work with it consciously, you will be astonished at the speed and beauty with which your desires appear, often in ways that make you say, if I had tried to arrange this myself, I could not have done it so perfectly. And that is when you will truly know that divine intelligence has been working on your behalf all along, guided by the blueprint you provided. I want you to pause and think about the desires you have been holding in your heart, perhaps for years. The dream home, the thriving business, the restored health, the loving relationship, the financial freedom, the opportunities to do the work you love. And I want you to ask yourself honestly, what have I been saying about these desires? Have I been watering them with faith and expectation, or poisoning them with doubt and delay? For your answer to that question will reveal why they have or not yet materialized. This is not to condemn you, but to awaken you. For the moment you see where you have been planting weeds instead of flowers, you can choose anew, and every moment is a fresh chance to plant a better seed, and the law will respond immediately to your new choice. And here is where I loop back to remind you, you cannot give out love, or believe the law of good. For the more you give in thought, word, and deed, the more you receive in multiplied form. So give your best energy to your vision, give your best words to your faith, give your best feelings to your imagined life, and you will see the material form of it standing before you. My dear, you must learn to think of your ideas not as mere fantasies, but as living things, already breathing in the unseen, already clothed in their perfect pattern, simply waiting for your unwavering faith to call them forth. For the moment you doubt, they fade back into shadow, and the moment you believe again, they step forward into the light. This is why I say the art of manifestation is not a matter of straining, but of holding steady, of being so convinced that no evidence to the contrary can shake you. And so I say to you now, begin this very day to speak aloud the good you desire as if it is already yours. Give thanks for it morning, noon, and night. Guard your thoughts as a shepherd guards the flock, and refuse to let any thief of doubt or fear enter your mental field. For as surely as the sun rises, your ideas will materialize, and when they do, you will marvel at how naturally, how perfectly, how joyfully they arrived, as if they had been on their way to you all along. Which, my dear, they have, for nothing you truly claim in faith can be denied you. My dear friend, I want you to pause for a moment and truly breathe in this truth. There is a divine blueprint for your life, and it is far grander, richer, and more beautiful than anything you have ever imagined. This blueprint is not fragile. It is not at the mercy of chance, nor the whim of circumstance, nor the approval of other people. It is secure. It is written in the invisible. And if you will align your words, your faith, and your actions with that divine pattern, you will walk into a life where victories are not occasional surprises, but natural outcomes of your spiritual alignment. The trouble is, most people think their life is like a puzzle with missing pieces. They believe they have to scramble to find those pieces before they can be complete. But in the divine mind, your puzzle is already whole. The picture is already perfect. What you call missing is simply unseen, and the unseen is far more powerful than the seen. That is why I have always said, and I will keep saying until it settles into your spirit, your words are your bridge from the invisible to the visible. What you affirm, you create. What you expect, you attract. What you thank God for in advance, you prepare to receive. It is not about forcing results. It is about aligning yourself with the inevitable good that already belongs to you. Let me tell you about a woman I once knew who was facing what the world would call an impossible situation. She had been told there was no way forward for her business, that it would surely collapse within months. But this woman, bless her soul, refused to make that prediction her reality. Every morning, she stood before her mirror, placed her hand on her heart, and declared, "I am surrounded by divine abundance. My business flourishes in perfect timing and perfect ways. I walk in divine order, and everything I need comes to me effortlessly." She did not speak these words once or twice. She spoke them until they became the very air she breathed. She did not wait to feel secure to speak security. She spoke it first, and the feeling followed. And what happened? New opportunities appeared from directions she never considered. Clients who had vanished returned with renewed enthusiasm. Even a major investor, who had previously declined to support her, called her unexpectedly with an offer. The very people who had predicted her downfall were now astonished by her success. She had not begged the universe. She had aligned with the divine blueprint. Her victory was already written. She simply walked into it by faith. You see, your spoken word is a declaration to the universe of where you intend to stand. If you keep speaking fear, you are sending a spiritual telegram that says, "Deliver more fear to this address." If you keep speaking lack, you are stamping the letter, "Return to sender," on your blessings before they even arrive. But when you speak faith, when you declare abundance, health, harmony, and perfect order, you send out a spiritual invitation to the very good that is already yours. Do not be discouraged if the outer picture looks unchanged for a time. Remember, the farmer does not see the harvest the day he plants the seed. There is a silent, sacred process happening beneath the surface. That is where your miracles begin. Not in the noise of the outer world, but in the quiet soil of the unseen. Your affirmations are the seeds, your faith is the water, and your gratitude is the sunlight. And just as surely as the earth knows how to bring forth a harvest, the divine knows how to bring forth your good. Too many people abandon their affirmations at the first sign of delay. They speak the truth for a week, then the moment circumstances look stubborn, they revert to complaining, doubting, and imagining the worst. My dear, you cannot plant roses and then dig them up every few days to check if they are growing. You must plant your word and let it take root in peace. There is another truth I must share with you. The divine does not work according to the world's deadlines. The moment you release the need to control the timing, you will open the door for your blessings to arrive in ways far better than you planned. If you keep staring at the clock of your life, you will only see seconds passing. But if you lift your eyes to the horizon of faith, you will see eternity unfolding. Let us affirm together now. I release the struggle. I release the doubt. I am guided, guarded, and supplied by the divine in perfect timing and perfect ways. My good comes to me now. And do not just say this when you are feeling hopeful. Say it when the wind is against you. Say it when your bank account looks empty. Say it when the answer seems delayed. For it is in those moments that your faith becomes the bridge to your unseen victory. I remember another gentleman who had been searching for meaningful work for months. Everywhere he turned, doors seemed to close. His friends began to tell him to be realistic and lower his expectations. But he came to me one afternoon and said, "I will not settle for less than what is divinely mine." I told him, "Then speak only of the perfect position that is already prepared for you. Give thanks for it as though you already hold it." And that is exactly what he did. He woke up every morning and declared, "I am now in my right work, happy, well paid, and doing what I love. My position comes to me through divine order, and I receive it now." Within 3 weeks, he received a call from a company he had never applied to. They told him his name had been recommended for a position that suited him perfectly, with better pay and benefits than he had imagined. He stepped into a job he had not chased but had attracted. This is the beauty of living by divine law. You do not have to manipulate, force, or chase. You align, you affirm, you expect, and then you allow. And I tell you now, with the same certainty I told him, your victory is already written in the invisible. You are not trying to convince God to bless you. You are allowing yourself to believe that you are already blessed. Keep speaking your word. Keep aligning with the pattern of the divine. Keep expecting your good, for the moment you stop looking for it, you make it harder to find you. The universe responds to the voice of faith, and that voice is yours. So let us close this part with the affirmation I want you to carry for the rest of this day and the days to coming. Nothing and no one can block what is divinely mine. I am in perfect alignment with my good. My path is clear, my timing is perfect, my blessings are sure. I live in divine order, and my victory is inevitable. Now walk forward, dear friend, with your head lifted, your words charged with faith, and your heart anchored in gratitude. For the life you seek is not somewhere far away. It is right here, waiting in the invisible, ready for you to step into it. There is a sacred stillness that no wind can disturb, a calm center in the very heart of the tempest, and it is here that your true power resides. Life will bring storms, sudden, unannounced, and often relentless, but the storm is never your enemy. It is a revealer. It strips away what was false. It shakes loose what no longer belongs, and it pushes you toward that deep inner place where you cannot be moved. I have often told my students that life does not require you to dodge every difficulty. It calls you to anchor yourself so firmly in divine law that nothing can uproot your peace. You may be surrounded by chaos, yet untouched by it. This is not wishful thinking. This is spiritual mastery. And it comes not by asking for a stormless life, but by learning to live as if the storm is your servant and the wind is carrying you exactly where you are meant to be. You must understand that the storm is not here to break you. It is here to break open the door to your greater good. If the winds howl, let them howl. If the waters rise, let them rise. Do not waste your faith in panic. Invest it in vision. Speak only what you wish to see. If you say, I am calm, I am guided, I am protected, then divine intelligence will make it so. If you declare, all is well, when nothing looks well, you are planting seeds that will bloom in the most unexpected ways. I recall the time when a woman came to me in tears, convinced her life was over because she had lost her business. She saw it as a storm of ruin. I told her, you are looking at the wind, but the wind is not your enemy. It is clearing the path. She could not see it then, but within months she was offered a new opportunity. Something beyond her old business. Something more aligned with her joy. Her Yuan was the road to her reward. That is the nature of storms in divine law. They are not endings. They are rearrangements. Many people fight the storm because they fear loss. But I tell you, the only thing you can lose in a true spiritual storm is what you never needed. The noise, the confusion, the sudden changes. They are only the shaking off of old shells. You are like a pearl, hidden within the rough oyster of your old life, and the storm pries it open so your radiance can be seen. Stand in the calm eye, and you will see the true thing. Nothing essential can be taken from you. The good that belongs to you is rooted in the infinite and is untouchable by human circumstances. If you fear the storm, you give it power. If you bless it, you command it to serve you. The winds will turn in your favor, the waves will carry you toward your destination, and the lightning will illuminate the path. You must practice this calm before the storm arrives, for calm is not born in the moment of panic. It is cultivated in the quiet hours of faith. Every morning, declare your place in the center of divine order. Say to yourself, I dwell in the heart of infinite peace. Nothing can move me from my place of safety and supply. When trouble appears, it will find you already anchored. And when you live this way, you will notice something remarkable. Storms that once would have frightened you will now excite you, for you will know they always bring gifts. You will begin to look at upheaval not as destruction, but as divine construction. The old must be swept away for the new to be built. There is a story I have told many times of a ship captain who sailed into a hurricane. While others panicked, he stood calmly at the wheel, guiding the vessel with steady hands. When asked how he could be so calm, he replied, I have sailed through many storms and everyone has passed. This one will too. And so it is with life. Every storm passes, but the lessons remain. The key is to keep your hands steady on the wheel of your own consciousness. Fear is a storm of the mind. Faith is the anchor that holds. In divine law, your words are the wheel, your faith is the anchor, and your vision is the compass. If you declare, I am guided, I am safe, I am prosperous, the storm cannot change your destination, it can only speed your arrival. But if you declare fear, you will steer yourself into troubled waters. Remember, it is not the storm outside that decides your fate, it is the storm within. Still the inner waters and the outer ones will follow. When you learn this, you will no longer pray for calm seas. You will pray for the strength and skill to sail through any weather, knowing that every wave carries you closer to your shore. This is the way of the spiritually awakening, to stand in the calm eye, to see with the eyes of faith, and to bless the storm even as it rages. You are not the wind, you are not the waves. You are the captain, and the divine is your navigator. Together, you cannot be lost. The storm may roar, but your spirit will whisper, peace, be still, and peace will answer. My dear friend, as we come to this final part of our journey together, I want you to feel, with every fiber of your being, that the truth we have spoken is not just beautiful words, not just pudic ideals, but living law, divine fact, an unshakable foundation upon which you may now stand for the rest of your days. For life was never meant to be a series of fearful struggles and exhausting doubts, but a joyous unfolding of divine design, and you, yes you, We're meant to live in the constant awareness that you are one with the source of all supply, love, health, and happiness, and that nothing, absolutely nothing, can take from you what God has decreed is yours. For throughout our talks, I have reminded you again and again that you are not a beggar at the door of life but an heir to the kingdom, a co-creator with the infinite. And when you truly believe that, when you know it so deeply that no appearance, no delay, no shadow can shake it, then the gates swing wide and the impossible becomes your everyday reality. For your spoken word has been working for you from the first moment you dared to speak in faith. And the law has been obeying even in moments you thought nothing was happening. Just as a seed grows in the dark before it breaks through to the sunlight, so too have your words been working in the unseen, gathering their substance, aligning the right people, opening the right doors, and moving away that which is not part of your good. Remember this always: life responds to your dominant thought, your prevailing vibration, your unwavering declaration, and so never, never let the world's noise, another's doubt, or a temporary setback lure you into speaking words of fear, for the moment you do, you plant weeds where you could be planting roses. Guard your tongue, for it is the rudder of your life, and guard your thoughts, for they are the soil in which your words take root. And now, let me tell you something you must carry in your heart forever. There is no failure in the divine mind, only redirection. There is no loss in spirit, only exchange for something better. There is no delay without divine timing, and there is no such thing as something too good to be true when God is the one arranging it. I want you to picture your life now as a great, open, sunlit garden, filled with every good and perfect thing you could desire. Love that uplifts, health that radiates, prosperity that flows, peace that surrounds, joy that overflows. And see yourself walking through it with gratitude, picking from its abundance, sharing its beauty with others, and never fearing that it could run out. For this is the truth: your supply is infinite, because your source is infinite. And as you bless and give, so it returns multiplied. And when the winds of life blow cold, when circumstances look contrary, do not panic, do not dig up your seeds to see if they're growing, but speak again the word of truth, for that word is your shield, your anchor, your sword, and your lamp in the dark. And now that we stand here together at the end of this lesson, I do not want you to simply close this book of thought and return to your old patterns. I want you to live this, breathe this, walk this, let it color every conversation, every choice, every silent moment of your life, so that you no longer wonder if your good will come, but instead know, without a shadow of a doubt, that it already is. Keep saying it, keep seeing it, keep giving thanks for it, until one day you will look around and realize that what you once prayed for, spoke for, and believed for is now the life you are living, and it will feel so natural, you will almost forget there was ever a time you did not have it. Except you will not forget, because you will use your own testimony to lift others, to speak to them as I have spoken to you, to tell them, with the same certainty, that nothing can block what is divinely theirs, that fear is only a shadow, that faith is the light, and that the law of God is perfect, unfailing, and personal. And so, my dear one, go forth now as the creator of your own radiant destiny, knowing that every word you speak in faith plants a seed in the garden of your life, that every thought you choose in love waters it, that every act of gratitude nourishes it, and that soon, sooner than you think, the harvest will be yours in full, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, for the universe has no choice but to mirror back to you the song you sing, and so make it a song of victory, of joy, of abundance, of fearless faith. And you will never walk alone, for God goes before you, making the crooked places straight, parting the waters, and lighting your path until it shines brighter than the noonday sun. And now, my dear friend, let us go even deeper into this truth. For faith is not something you put on for a day like a garment, and then hang up in the closet when life feels uncertain. Faith is a living, breathing, unshakable companion that walks beside you in every step, in every breath, in every heartbeat. Many people treat faith like a spare umbrella, tucked away for a rainy day, only brought out when the storm clouds gather. But I tell you this, the person who lives in constant faith walks under blue skies, even when the clouds above are dark, because their eyes are fixed not on the weather of the moment, but on the unchanging light of divine supply. When you wake in the morning, before your mind has a chance to replay yesterday's troubles or tomorrow's worries, plant your flag in the ground of faith. Declare it out loud, for the spoken word sets the tone for the entire day. You might say, I live in a universe that is for me, never against me. The good I seek is seeking me now. I walk in the certainty of answered prayers. This is not wishful thinking. This is the language of creation, the vibration that calls forth what is already yours in the unseen. If you can learn to meet the day with expectation instead of hesitation, your entire life will shift. You will no longer walk like a beggar hoping for scraps from the table of life. You will walk as in here, confident that the table is already set in your favor. And this confidence is not arrogance, but spiritual alignment. It is the knowing that the divine designed you not for struggle, but for fulfillment. But I must tell you something crucial: faith is tested not in the easy days, but in the days when the evidence seems absent. This is when most people waver. They look at the bank account, the doctor's report, the closed door, and they say, "It's not working." And the moment they say this, they have shut the door themselves. Yet the one who stands firm says, "The picture before me is only temporary. I hold to the greater truth." And because they do, the picture changes. Never forget that the unseen is more real than the seen, for the seen world is but the shadow of what has already been shaped in the invisible. If you doubt this, think of a seed buried in the ground. For days, perhaps weeks, there is no visible sign of growth. The soil looks empty, but under the surface, the seed is bursting with unseen life. Your faith is the warmth and water that brings it forth. Abandon it too soon, and you dig up the seed before it can sprout. You must also release the how to the divine. Too many people strangle their desires by demanding a specific route of arrival. They say, "I want this, but it must come through that person, that job door." And when that door closes, they despair. But faith says, "If this door closes, the right one will swing wide, perhaps even one I never imagined." This is the secret of spiritual magnetism. You do not dictate the delivery. You simply hold to the certainty of arrival. Remember too, that faith thrives in gratitude. A grateful heart is like fertile soil, ready for abundant harvest. Do not wait for the big breakthrough to give thanks. Give thanks now for every small sign of movement. If $1 comes when you need 100, bless it as the seed of your full supply. If one opportunity appears when you dreamed of 10, honor it as the opening act of your miracle. Gratitude multiplies what you recognize, while complaint repels it. And as you walk in this faith, understand that you are not just changing your outer circumstances. You are changing yourself. The person who stood in fear, who pleaded and doubted, will not be the same person who stands in faith and receives. You will be stronger, clearer, and more magnetic to the good that belongs to you. And when your desire arrives, as surely it will, you will know it was not the thing itself that mattered most, but the transformation of your spirit along the way. So, my friend, I leave you with this charging: be relentless in your faith. Guard it as you would the most precious treasure, for in truth it is. Let no voice of doubt, whether within you or from another, shake it from your heart. Declare daily that you live in the stream of divine supply, and that every good and perfect gift is finding its way to you now. And then, walk forward as if it is already done. Because in the unseen it is. And when you do, you will discover that life is not a struggle to acquire, but a joyful unfolding of what has been yours all along. The magnetic faith blueprint is not a theory, not a possibility. It is the reality for all who dare to believe without wavering. And as you live it, you will become living proof that what the mind holds in faith, the hand will hold in form.